Learning new skills doesn't have to cost a fortune. Welcome to Affordable Futures, where we cover practical ways to grow without the hefty price tag. I'm Kathleen, and today we're talking about diploma mills, what they are, how people get caught by them, and what exactly to look for so that you don't end up on the wrong end of one. So here's the story. In 1999, a high school dropout named Rixie Randock and her husband Steven set up an office in Spokane, Washington. From that office, they ran what would become one of the largest diploma mill operations ever prosecuted in the United States. The operation went by dozens of names: St. Regis University, James Monroe University, Ameritech University, New Manhattan University, and about 120 others. Each one held its own website, held its own logo, its own mailing address, and its own professional-looking diploma template. If you called the phone number listed on the site, someone would answer and confirm that yes, your degree was real, and yes, you had attended their institution. For a flat fee, sometimes as little as a few $100s, you could buy a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, or a PhD. No coursework, no exams, no faculty, just a form asking you about your life experience and a credit card field. By the time the U.S. Secret Service, the Postal Inspection Service, and the Department of Justice shut it down in 2005 in an operation that they called Operation Gold Seal, the Randocks had sold degrees to more than 9,000 people in 131 countries, generating over $6 million in sales. Among the buyers, at least 135 federal government employees, White House staff, a State Department employee, a Department of Justice employee, 14 New York City firefighters who used their fake degrees to qualify for promotions, a former deputy U.S. Marshal who bought a fake degree and lied about it on his promotion application. Dixie Randock, a high school dropout, was sentenced to 3 years in federal prison for wire and mail fraud. All 8 co-defendants pleaded guilty. Now, here's the part that matters for you. Most of the 9,000 people who bought these degrees didn't think that they were doing anything wrong. A lot of them genuinely believed that the school was real. The websites were real and professional. The phone lines were staffed, and the diplomas looked authentic. The accreditation was listed right there on the homepage. And that's the whole point. Diploma mills don't look like scams. They look like schools. So the question isn't whether you'd recognize an obvious fake, it's whether you can catch a convincing one. So the moment the red flags appeared, let's walk back through the St. Regis story and look at exactly where the warning signs were, because every single one of them was right there, hiding in plain sight. Red flag number 1, the accreditation doesn't check out. St. Regis claimed accreditation. What it didn't say is that the accrediting body it cited was one it invented itself. The school created a fake accrediting agency with a credible sounding name to point to as proof of legitimacy. This is the standard diploma mill playbook. There are hundreds of fake accrediting agencies operating online. The only way to know if an accreditor is real is to cross-reference it with 2 sources: the Department of Education's database and the Council for Higher Education Accreditation. If the accrediting body isn't listed in either of those, the accreditation isn't real, period, regardless of how official the name sounds. That check takes about 5 minutes and would have caught St. Regis immediately. Red flag number 2 is that the degree was based entirely on life experience. The whole pitch was that your work history qualified you for a degree. There was no courses, no exams, no required assignments. Just fill out a form about your background and pay the fee. Legitimate schools do give credit for prior learning in certain structured ways. They have standardized exams, ACE recommended professional training, transfer credits from accredited institutions, but those credits supplement coursework. They don't replace all of it. A degree that requires nothing but a form and a payment isn't a degree, it's a receipt. Red flag number 3, there was a flat fee for the degree itself. Real schools charge by credit hour, by course, or by semester. The moment a school quotes you a single price to receive a credential, especially if it comes with a package deal for multiple degrees at once, you're looking at a purchase, not an education. Red flag number 4, the timeline was impossible. Bachelor's degrees take 2 to 5 years at accredited institutions. Anything promised a degree in days or weeks is not compressing a curriculum, it's skipping it. Red flag number 5, no real physical presence. The Randocks ran their operation out of a single office building in Meade, Washington, while claiming to be multiple universities spread across the country. There were no campuses, no faculty offices, no classrooms, no library. If you tried to visit any one of these institutions they claimed to run, you would have found nothing there. Before enrolling anywhere, verify that a physical address exists and that it corresponds to an actual institution. Call the number. Ask to speak with an admissions counselor. Ask who teaches the courses. Ask to see a course catalog. Legitimate schools can answer all of these questions without any hesitation. So what happened to these buyers? The 9,000 people who bought degrees from the St. Regis network faced a range of consequences. Some lost their jobs when employers ran their credential verifications and found nothing. Some faced disciplinary action. The 14 New York City firefighters were fined. The former deputy U.S. Marshal was prosecuted. Federal employees who had used fake credentials to get hired or promoted faced investigations. Many others got away with it, at least in the short term. Their names ended up on a list that a newspaper published after the DOJ declined to release it publicly. Some of these people are still using their fake credentials today. A researcher who goes by fake PhD investigator documented finding a sitting CTO in 2023 who had a degree from St. Regis on his LinkedIn profile, 18 years after the bust. The point isn't that everyone gets caught, it's that the risk is real, unpredictable, and permanent. Credential verification technology is better now than it was in 2005. Employers use third-party background check services that cross-reference degrees against accredited institution records. A credential that doesn't verify doesn't just raise a flag, it often ends the conversation. What a legitimate program actually looks like. So since we spent this video walking through what's wrong, it's worth spending a moment on what right looks like. Because affordable and legitimate genuinely coexist, and the contrast is useful. University of the People is a real example of its tuition-free with a $180 assessment fee per undergraduate course. It's WASC accredited, which can be verified directly in the Department of Education's database. The academic structure includes weekly deadlines, peer assessment reviews, and 11 proctored exams required to graduate from a bachelor's program. You cannot skip a proctored exam, skip just one, and you receive a 0 for the course regardless of anything else you submitted. The structure, real accreditation you can verify in 30 seconds, actual coursework with enforced deadlines, and proctored exams that tie your credential to real learning is what separates a legitimate low-cost option from what the Randocks were selling. The price being low is not a red flag. The price being the only thing you're paying with nothing academic required in return is. So your checklist. Before you give any school your money or your time, you're going to look up the school on the Department of Education's database. Then you're going to look up the accrediting body on the CHEA's database. Both need to check out, not just one. You're going to confirm the program requires actual coursework with real exams and enforced deadlines, not a one-time fee and a life experience form. You're going to call the school, ask to speak with a real person in admissions, ask who teaches the courses and what their credentials are. You're going to search the school's name plus the word scam before enrolling. If the first page is nothing but the school's own marketing, note it. If former students are posting warnings, take them seriously. None of this takes more than an hour, and it's a worthwhile hour before you commit months to years to a program that might not be worth the paper it prints its diplomas on. That's it for today on Affordable Futures, growth without a big price tag. Drop your biggest challenge in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.